Hi, I'm Dana Cowley. You're watching Charter Local Edition Northwest. Today we're at the Marcus Whitman Hotel in beautiful Walla Walla, and we're covering the news and issues that matter most to you. My guest today is Mike Fredrickson. He's the Port of Walla Walla Commissioner. Mike, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
No problem.
So for those that aren't familiar with the Port District, can you just give us the 101?
Sure. First of all, there's 3 port commissioners. We're all elected, and for the Port of Walla Walla, it's a 6-year term, and they're staggered every 2 years. One of us is up for re-election. And we are the lead economic development agency for the county of Walla Walla. So not just Walla Walla City, but College Place and even Waitsburg and Burbank area. We cover the whole county. So that is a great tool for us to be able to spread it throughout the county, our tax revenue, because we collect tax from the whole county.
And then tell me about the big project you have going on this year.
So one of the most exciting projects we have this year is that we have recruited a software company to downtown Walla Walla.
Outstanding.
They'll be starting with 5 to 10 jobs in January. So one of the reason they're starting in January is so that we can fix up the building for them a little bit. They have a hard budget, and we're going to kind of make it a nice software and then building, and then we're going to try to make a software cluster out of it. So we'll talk to other people that are kind of in his same boat. He has a very successful software company in downtown Seattle, and most people would be saying, why would you be going from downtown Seattle to Walla Walla? Well, there's a problem of competition for talent in Seattle.
Oh.
And so Amazon right now is poaching some of his people.
Oh.
As soon as he gets them trained, Amazon comes in and takes them away. So one of the things he was thinking of is, by putting them in Eastern Washington, will they really want to go to downtown Seattle after they live in this lifestyle that we have here of
very appealing.
Yes, great food, great wine, 5-minute commute, you can afford a house, all those type of things. And so he's really excited to bring a division over of his company and see how this works. He's even thinking bigger picture, maybe a second division, who knows, we'll see where it goes. But to start with, we'll say 5 to 10 people and see what we can do from there.
And just out of curiosity, what kind of software?
That's a great question. I don't know if I'm technically able to talk about it, other than it is holistic software. Oh. One of the big new products that they have is for universities with recruiting their new students. And so it's a process that can get through the application, the whole selection process for colleges and universities. Oh, that's their new project. Before that, they have a management software for, again, holistic for whole businesses, and it's kind of above me.
Oh. And me too.
Yes.
Well, thank you and congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, along those lines, what else is the port doing to bring livable, sustainable family wage jobs? Because I know from reading your website that's one of the port's top priorities.
One of the things that we do very well is get sites and buildings ready for people to move into them. Or we can help retain the jobs. And that is the easiest, that's kind of the low-hanging fruit. If you've got somebody that is struggling, how can we help? So let's take Martin Archery last year. They were in a world of hurt, going under, and they had to sell the company. Well, the buyers didn't want to buy the real estate and wanted to do a lease situation. We came in and bought the warehouse and the manufacturing buildings, leased it to them, and so they were able to bring back a company that was down to about 5 or 10 people themselves. Oh. And they're currently, they got to a high of 65, then they had a big fire that has been in the news in Walla Walla, and is the manufacturing building. So they're down to about 55 employees last I heard right now, trying to figure it all out. However, that's one of those that's a good retention and a good place for the port to fit in to help bring that business back.
And then you mentioned that you cover the entire county,
Mm-hmm.
good size area, and that you help contribute to the tax base.
Mm-hmm.
How do the citizens overall benefit from everything you do, particularly how those tax dollars circulate?
Well, that's a great question because it's not shown very well. There's 2 different ways that we help with that. By bringing in a Boise Cascade in 1956, I believe it was, they pay 5% of all real estate taxes in the county. And if it wasn't for that base that the port brought in then, or a Tyson or a Rail-X, or some of these big taxpayers, without that base, you know, those of us that live here would be making up the difference for the county to provide the same services that they're providing now.
I think people don't often think of that.
There's one other thing that is unique to ports and governmental agencies that lease buildings out. There's also a 12.84% leasehold tax. So like when we lease the property to Martin Archery or this software company, people say, well, those buildings are off the tax rolls. But they're really not, because they pay a leasehold tax at 12.84% of the market rent that we're charging them. So that goes 60% to the state for basically schools and all the state costs. 40% come back to the county to run the county and those type of things. So it's a tax in lieu of real estate taxes.
I didn't know that.
Right.
And I bet most of our viewers didn't either.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I believe this year that tax payment that we'll make is about just under $400,000 to the state.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you watching. I'm Dana Cowley, and this is Charter Local Edition Northwest.